Hey, we're back for more educational learning for the instructor certification. We just completed the strict military press, so now we're moving on to what we call the windmill. Sometimes people have a lot of problems with this lift. They're breaking down in one area or another, so we're going to address a lot of the common problems found so you can help your client better achieve this lift. Okay, so again, starting from an athletic stance, bell between our heels, gets us down into a nice squat position, and getting bell up into the rack position or the clean. Body check underneath me, we've been through all this before. Hips forward, glutes tight, brace the abdomen, and we're going to press the bell overhead. So we've got a tight grip on the bell. Bell is sitting nice and deep on the hand. I've closed the gap between the side of the hand and the bell handle. So bell goes overhead. All right, from here, we're going to instruct our clients to keep a peripheral vision on the bell anytime that the bell is overhead. So if they have to abandon the lift, if there's some reason that the shoulder is not stable, they don't want the bell to fall on their head, so instruct them just to let it go. Won't hurt the bell, won't hurt the floor. So for demonstration purposes, I'll be looking at you, but do remember to instruct this to your clients. From this position, I'm going to turn both of the forefoot of my feet the opposite direction of the bell. And I'm going to find my movement in my hip joint. So I instruct my clients to kick their hip out over top of this knee and over top of this ankle. From this position, this back leg remains locked straight. The front leg can bend or it can remain straight depending on your level of flexibility. So I'm going to do it in a bent leg position, which is where most people need to for their level of flexibility. Now instead of having your client bend sideways like so, some people want to travel down this leg, I'm actually going to have you instruct them to bend forward. So we'll get a bell to set out in front of us, and we'll use that as a target. Alright, so getting bell back in position, turning toes, kicking hip. Now have them look towards the bell to bring their hand down instead of going down towards this foot. You actually want to have them rotate the shoulder in and bend forward. So as I do that, I'm watching the bell, going down to touch the bell handle. And this is what we call that yoga T position. So from here, I've really loaded this back hamstring and glute, and it remains stationary over top of my knee and my ankle. You'll find a lot of clients wanting to kind of drift this way. So from here, we can track the glute, hamstring, and quad to come back up, pull the bell back down into position, and unclean the bell. So a lot of problems that your clients will have, of course, is short, tight hamstrings, especially for guys, or they're trying to find their mobility by bending at the waist, and they just simply lock up. So some drills that you can use to help them with this is to have them imagine, instead of kicking their hip sideways in this direction here, you want them to actually bend forward at the hip and just kind of shift the weight here. And we also use dowels a lot of times. We'll stack a dowel right upside their leg and have them keep their hip right upside that dowel as they perform the lift. And when they start to stray away, you can actually do that brushing motion that we've done in some of the swing demonstrations previously to get them to get that hip back, almost like bending forward, rather than trying to get mobility this way. So that's a great one. Also, if you have a band or a belt or a strap, you can put it right around the crease of their hips here. And as they're under the bell, of course, when you're teaching your clients, if they don't have previous weightlifting experience, you won't want to put a heavy bell over top of their head. That stands to reason. So we do have some weighted squishy balls that we work with clients, and that way much lighter, 3 to 5 pounds, and if it falls, it's not going to create an injury. So from here, they've got their bell up top, and you wrap that belt around the crease of their hips, and you're actually pulling them the direction you want them to go as they're bending forward. Now, nothing states that they have to be able to touch the ground. You want them only to bend as far functionally as they can in a safe and effective motion. So if it's only a partial bend, that's okay. As long as the mechanics are good, the hip is in alignment over the knee, over the ankle. So those are the key points of the windmill. Of course, if you want to increase difficulty, you can do a double windmill where they're actually picking the bell up at the bottom. So this bell will be the bell that goes overhead, of course the lighter bell. Kicking the hip back, rotating the opposite shoulder in, coming forward to pick up the bell, and into a standing position. Same thing, reverse the lift. And if you notice too, this is a great shoulder rehabilitator because it actually works the shoulder joint through a full range of motion. So I teach my clients this as they go down, and again we'll do it without the weight because that's the safest position to practice. So I have them pretend they're grabbing hold of a light bulb. The light bulb in itself doesn't move around the ceiling this way, but it does turn in the socket. So I have them visualize grabbing hold of a light bulb. They're kicking their hip back, watching that light bulb, and they are going to unscrew the light bulb as they go down to pick up the bottom bell or to touch the floor. What that does is it puts my shoulder in an anterior position. It's rolled completely forward in the joint. And then as I come up, I am screwing the light bulb back into position. So that's putting the joint, ball and socket joint, through a full range of motion. It's working all the rotator cuff muscles, which is very important to support the shoulder joint. So anytime they're going to be doing overhead lifts, it's important that they build up strength or stability in the rotator cuff muscles. So this is a great exercise. They can start doing it at home, even with a bottled water, something weighted, something light. They can practice that, getting their mobility, and then we can move on to doubles and even some more fun things like the two hands anyhow. So that'll be another video, so stand by for more. Thanks.